That's what the water looks like in there.
Well, hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I hope y'all are having a great day and staying healthy. What I've got for you today, I'm going to show you how to add a water and oil separator to this Harbor Freight spray gun. If you guys are new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't done so already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I've got a lot of other car care and DIY repair videos on the channel that you guys might find useful. So why would you want to put an oil and water separator on a paint gun or any of your air tools for that matter? Well, I mean, it says it right on the package. It separates the water and the oil to keep it from getting inside of your air tools. Now, for your impact wrenches, your air ratchets, these kinds of things, that'll just prolong the life of those tools. But for your spray guns, you know, moisture is a killer when you're trying to spray paint. And there's nothing worse than getting moisture in your freshly sprayed paint to ruin the whole paint job. Alright guys, so what I've got here is my Craftsman air compressor. This is a 33 gallon, 150 psi air compressor. Now it doesn't really matter what kind of compressor you get, you're inevitably going to get some condensation in the tank. And that is the reason why you want to add an oil and water separator to your air lines.
That's what the water looks like in there.
Alright guys, so I am actually really embarrassed to show you all that water that just came out of my compressor. But that is a prime example, that is the example of exactly why you want an oil and water separator on your air lines for all your air tools, especially your air sprayers. Alright guys, so as you saw from that little demonstration, there was a lot of water in the bottom of my air compressor. So that is exactly the reason why I'm going to be adding this water and oil separator to my setup. And I actually do not have the fittings to attach this directly to the end of the airline hose. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach it for now, for demonstration purposes of this video, to the end of this air sprayer here. Now this air sprayer is, you probably recognize it, it's one of the inexpensive air sprayers, paint sprayers from Harbor Freight. This is of course the purple spray gun that everybody knows about. This particular model came with the, I think it's the 20-ounce cup on top, and it also came with the regulator. So, and this regulator, on a side note, is not very well made. So I may or may not keep this on the paint sprayer whenever I use it. So I actually bought this, and I've got a video using this thing actually for the purposes of applying water-based tire dressings to my car, plastic trim, wheels, tire, or not wheels, but the tires, the plastic trim, these kinds of things. So I've got another video on this one using it for that purpose that I'll have a link at the end of this video. When this video is over, you can go click on that one and watch it if you're interested. Now back to this air water separator, or this water and oil separator. This is a Neiko brand water and oil separator, and right here on the package it says it's rated for 90 psi. It's got plastic polycarbonate outer shell, and it has 1/4-inch NPT fittings that'll attach to just about any standard airline. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this oil water separator put on to this air gun. Now this is actually a pretty simple process, and all you're going to need, so I picked this up, the paint sprayer from Harbor Freight. I picked these two packages of brass couplings up from Harbor Freight, and then I also picked up this oil water separator from Amazon. And I'll have a link to this oil water separator down in the description below if you guys are interested. It was relatively inexpensive. I want to say it was about $8, $9, $10, something like that. And then the only other thing I'm going to use for this project are, of course, my wrenches here to tighten everything up, and then a little bit of Teflon tape. Alright, so first things first, I am going to go ahead and put just a little bit of Teflon tape onto the end of this paint sprayer. And of course you want to put this Teflon tape on the same way that you're going to thread on any fitting, and in this case it'll be the oil water separator. So you just thread your Teflon on righty-tighty, and then go ahead and thread your oil water separator right onto the bottom of the air sprayer. Just go ahead and give it a hand tightening there, and you know, I feel like that hand tightening is probably tight enough. Now for the purposes of this video, I am not going to attach this regulator all the way, but I will show you what I was talking about in terms of the build quality of this thing. So of course this is not tight, it's just hand tight, but you can see it wobbles around, and I think the problem is that this nut here is not a pipe thread nut, so I think that's why you get that wobbling going on. And I actually had this attached earlier before I put this oil water separator on, and I had some Teflon tape on the end of the paint sprayer. The end of the paint sprayer is not pipe threaded, and this thing was still a little bit wobbly. So again, for right now, I'm going to leave that off. This guy is just hand tight there. Next step, we're just going to apply the 3/8 inch coupling to the end of the oil water separator. Again, just want to get a little piece of Teflon tape, wrap this around the threads, go ahead and get that Teflon tape on there, and then take your coupling and just screw that onto the bottom. Now I'll tighten this up off camera. I just want to respect everyone's time here for this video, but there you have it. There is the setup with this Neiko oil water separator, again made by Ridge Rock Tools out of California. This part was made in Taiwan. This thing is rated for 90 psi, and let's get it hooked up and give it a go. Alright, so just go ahead and grab your air hose and get it hooked up to this coupling. Check for any leaks. Got a little leak right around here, probably just need to tighten that up a bit, but again, for the purposes of this video, everything seems well connected. And that thing seems to work really well. I want to try something. Bear with me 2 seconds. Alright, so I want to demonstrate here to you guys and prove to myself that this air oil water separator actually works. So I'm just going to take some distilled water here. Just let's get a little bit more here. Get about a capful of water, and I'm just going to dump this right into the hose here. Alright, so that is obviously not going to seal, because it's not going to go down into the hose because of that coupling, but once we get the air hose connected, I'm going to see if that water actually goes up into this water separator. Alright, here we go. See if you guys can see that. Alright, so I hope you guys can see that pretty well on camera here, but there are water droplets inside of this separator, and I'm imagining, what I'm seeing on the case here is certainly not the same amount that I poured into this coupling, but I'm imagining that filter inside has captured a lot of that water. Alright, so let's try this Schrader here to see how well that works. Alright, so I don't know if you saw that, but there was a little mist and spray of water when I depressed that Schrader. So, and then just to show that there's no water still left in there. I don't know if you can see that on my hand, but there is no water left in that coupling. Alright guys, so there you have it. There is how and why, most importantly, you want to install an oil water separator on your air tools, on your air lines, particularly your air spray guns. As you saw, at least from this little demonstration, this inexpensive, about $10 oil water separator seemed to do a pretty good job for the price point. So again, if you guys are interested in one of these, if you need one of these for your air tool setup, I will have a link in the description down below. Again, it's pretty inexpensive. I think it is very cheap insurance to have on your air tools to, one, extend the life of your tools, but also, two, to provide a better quality paint job if you're using an air sprayer like this one. Alright guys, so again, there you go. Just a quick video on how and why you want to install an oil water separator on your tools. If this video was helpful to you, please be sure to hit that thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it, and it really helps out with that YouTube algorithm. If you hadn't done so already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. As I said before, I've got a lot of other car care and DIY repair videos on the channel that you guys may find useful. That's going to do it for this video. As always, I appreciate your support. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one.